Greetings in Jesus' name from Hartshorn, Oklahoma, in the United States. I think that I know most of you, but there's probably some new people. My name is Kathy Walling, and Sister Nelia has graciously allowed me to make a video to send to you. Now, I do wish that we were able to be on a Zoom meeting because I would love to see your faces. But I think she talked maybe that later we might do that. So I was praying, actually I think it was last night, and because I've been praying about what to talk about to you, and the Lord, I felt like He put into my mind to talk about the living water. The living water is truly, well, that's my favorite, beyond compare. I know those of you that have already been born again, you know what I'm gonna be talking about, and you have tasted the living waters. You have come to know the Lord in the most personal, intimate, loving way, and the powerful way, and you have tasted of the goodness of God. And I want to talk about it because even for those of us who have been in church, the living water is our life source. So our spiritual, our everlasting life source. So I want to talk about the good life, beyond compare, good life. In Isaiah 55, 1 through 3. Oh, and I wanted to tell you also, because I'm having a difficult time getting the videos sent to Sister Nelia, we may be doing these in 3 or 4 short 4-minute videos so that I'm able to send those. In Isaiah 55, 1 through 3, it says, Ho, everyone that thirsteth, come ye to the waters. And he that hath no money, come ye, buy and eat. Yea, come buy wine and milk without money and without price. Wherefore do you spend money for that which is not bread, and your labor for that which satisfieth not? Hearken diligently unto me, and eat ye that which is good. And let your soul delight itself in fatness. Incline your ear and come unto me. Hear, and your soul shall live, and I will make an everlasting covenant with you, even the sure mercies of David. Now, this is in the Old Testament. It's in Isaiah. And the Lord is inviting people who are hungry and thirsty for Him. This isn't talking about natural food and drink. This is talking about that food and drink for your soul. So, I know those of us that have been born again, we know what it is to be thirsty and hungry for the Lord. We know what it is to seek after God, to draw near to God, which is what I believe Sister Nelia talked to you about last Sunday. But we still need to draw near to God and drink of this water of life. We continually. So let's talk about what the water of life is. In Jeremiah 17, verses 13 through 14, it says, O Lord, the hope of Israel, all that forsake thee shall be ashamed, and they that depart from me shall be written in the earth, because they have forsaken the Lord, Jehovah, Yahweh, the fountain of living waters. So we see here that the Lord calls Himself to the people. They tell them that He is the fountain of living waters. Okay, we know that God is spirit. We can't see him, though he's everywhere. He's here with me, and he's there with you. And I love that no matter where we are, there he is. When we're in an airplane and way up thousands of feet in the air, or whether we're at the depths of the sea, God is there. And he is waiting and ready for anyone, everyone, to come to him and to learn of him, to repent, to be washed, and to take of him and to drink that water of life, to have that water of life. So we know that in Jeremiah it talks about that the Lord calls himself the fountain of living waters. So now let's hop over to John chapter 4 in the New Testament, and let's read 1 through 14. It's a little bit of a lengthy reading, so I will probably stop this video and begin the next one so that I'm able to send them to Sister Nelia. Okay, so we're back. We're talking about the fountain of living waters. And we've read in Isaiah, or in Jeremiah, we've read in Jeremiah, that the Lord, God, is the fountain of living waters. And we get more about this in the New Testament. So in John chapter 4, verses 1 through 14, it says, "When therefore the Lord knew how the Pharisees had heard that Jesus made and baptized more disciples than John, though Jesus himself baptized not, but his disciples, he left Judea and departed again into Galilee. And he must needs go through Samaria." He needed to go through Samaria. "Then cometh he to a city of Samaria, which is called Sychar, near to the parcel of ground that Jacob gave to his son Joseph. Now Jacob's well was there. Jesus, therefore, being wearied with his journey, sat thus on the well, and it was about the 6th hour. There cometh a woman of Samaria to draw water. Jesus saith unto her, Give me to drink. For his disciples were gone away into the city to buy meat. Then saith the woman of Samaria unto him, How is it that thou, being a Jew, ask drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? For the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans. Jesus answered and said unto her, If thou knewest the gift of God, and who it is that saith to thee, Give me to drink, thou wouldest have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water. So here in the New Testament, we are talking again about living water. The woman saith unto him, Sir, thou hast nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. From whence hast thou that living water? Art thou greater than our father Jacob, which gave us the well, and drank thereof himself, and his children, and his cattle? Jesus answered and said unto her, Whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again. But whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst again. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. Oh, that sounds most wonderful beyond words to me. And it is. Oh, it's so wonderful to be able to drink of the living water. And so the Lord talked to this woman, and it ended up she went back to her city and told them about Jesus and told them, hey, this is the Messiah we've been waiting for. And many in that city came, and they saw the Lord and heard him talk, and they believed on him. So she was kind of like an evangelist, and she had been a wicked woman, but God loved her. And he who stopped by Samaria, he needed to go to Samaria. And he knew that woman was going to be there getting water out of that well. All right, so in John chapter 7, this is a little bit after the woman at the well, 37 through 39, it says, In the last day, the great day of the feast, Jesus stood and cried, saying, If any man thirst, Okay, now I want to just say something here. Have you ever felt so thirsty in your soul? Not for water physically, we've all done that, but we've all also felt thirsty and hungry. We may not have known what it was, but we knew there had to be more than what was going on in our lives, that there had to be something else, that there was an almighty God, that there was something that we needed for our souls. I believe everyone has a thirst and hunger for God. And when they do, that He will know, He does know, for He knows all things, and that He will show them the way and show them how to come to Him and draw nigh to Him and receive the goodness and blessings of God that He has for each and every one of us. And so this says, if any man thirst, let him come unto me and drink. So we can go to Jesus and get this drink that we need for our souls. Let's find out what it is, what he's talking about. Because in the next verse, verse 39, it says, verse 38 says, he that believeth on me, as the scripture has said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. Here again in the New Testament, and it's mentioned other times too. I'm just bringing a few scriptures, but it says, the rivers of living water shall flow from your innermost being. And then the verse 39 tells us what the rivers of living waters are, what the river of living water is. But this spake he of the Spirit, which they that believe on him should receive. For the Holy Ghost, there's the living water, was not yet given, because that Jesus was not yet glorified. But Jesus has been glorified now. He went on that cross. He shed his blood for us. He spilled his blood for every one of us. He shed it for us all. For everyone that hears the gospel and comes to him and believes on him, as the scripture has said, he did it so we can repent of our sins and be baptized in his name and receive the Holy Spirit. Be baptized with the Holy Ghost and fire, that living water that he has for us, the fountain of living waters. And so, if you want to know how to drink, those of us who have come to him before, we know to draw nigh to him. We know that he will give us again that living water and fill us again with his Holy Spirit. And for those of you that may not have received yet, you can come to him and you can receive, you can ask him. The Bible says that if we, being evil, know how to give good gifts to our children, how much more will the Father, the Holy Heavenly Father, give the Spirit, the Holy Ghost, to us who ask him? You have to ask. And so on the day of Pentecost, when the Holy Ghost was first poured out after Jesus had died and was buried and rose again, he was on the earth about 40 days. And then he ascended into heaven. And he told them to go wait for the promise of the Father. The promise of the Father was this living water, and to receive the Holy Ghost. So on the day of Pentecost, the Holy Ghost was first poured out. There were about 120 in that upper room. I'm sure you've probably already heard about it. Those of us who have been born again know. And when the Holy Spirit fell on them, they all spake with other tongues, and they glorified and magnified God, which that's the evidence of receiving the Holy Spirit. And when the people around heard this going on, they asked them, what do we do? And in verse 38 of Acts chapter 2, Peter said unto them, repent and be baptized, every one of you, in the name of Jesus Christ, for the forgiveness of sins, and you shall receive the gift of the Holy Ghost. For the promise is unto you and to your children and to all that are far off, even as many as the Lord our God shall call. And so many, there were around 3,000 converted that first day. They were baptized in Jesus' name. They received the Holy Spirit, the gift of the Holy Ghost. They got to drink of that living water. Their souls got to be saved, satisfied, sanctified. God just makes us new creatures in Christ Jesus. So you just have to come to the Lord and just tell him, God, I'm thirsty for you, or in your own words, just tell him. And those of us that have drank from the Lord, we just draw nigh to him again, which he abides within us. So he's within us. All we got to do is talk to him and call on his name. What a wonderful God. What a good, wonderful God, beyond what words can even express, to give to us the rivers of living water.